Thank you for taking the time to click on L.O.R.E. Please subscribe here and don't forget to follow us on twitch.tv/LoreLivePlay. Okay, there we are. Hello, what is up, Elder? How are you doing? My mic is really loud. I'm going to turn that down. Hi, what's up? My name is Chris Ferguson. I am the humble host of L.O.R.E, the League of Rolling Expeditioners. You are watching a very special episode of L.O.R.E. We call it the L.O.R.E Lounge Live. L.O.R.E Lounge Live, or whatever. It's been a very, 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 very long time since we've done something like this, and we figured since we had a lot of downtime that we would hop on and just come hang out with you guys and chat and, you know, our dice nerd fams and talk whatever comes to mind. It's going to be fun, so stick around for an hour or two, however long we can hang and you want to hang. And if you're watching and you have not followed us before, if you're new to the channel, drop a follow so you can hop in chat and hang out with us live. If you are following us and watching live, then don't hesitate to hop in chat and ask us questions, pick our brains, whatever you would like to do, whatever's on your mind. I'm going to hand it over to our infamous, notorious Dungeon Master, aka Dungeon Matthew.
Oh, that's me. Oh, hi! Hi, everyone. Matthew here, your notorious DM.
Hi,
and nothing else.
Hi.
I'm Matt.
Wow, full of excitement and enthusiasm tonight.
We're here.
Yes, as Chris pointed out, we're just here to, you know, relax, hang out, chill out, you know, shoot the shit, so to speak. Ask your favorite questions, whatever you want to do. You want to talk topics, you want to talk D&D, you want to talk video games, you want to talk, you know, anything but politics.
Yes.
Because none of us care to listen to politics.
Yeah,
but
we have the politics, race, religion. That's off the table today, so.
sorry.
But what about that airplane food, though?
However.
Whoa, now that's a little too political.
Anything current events. Anything current events is a no-go.
If it's D&D related in the world of Matthew's world, maybe.
So
Possible.
D&D airplane food. I see now.
Yeah, dragon. Riding on dragon food.
That's you know what? That is an interesting thought, just in general, considering most D&D campaigns are the high fantasy and everything like that. You have the ability to fly. Some races have the ability to naturally fly. You have magic to fly, unless there are some other forms and elements. How would airplanes exactly work, or helicopters, or anything else?
Well, would it be like another Kitty Hawk situation with the Wright brothers, or
Magic crystals?
I guess it depends on the setting and the DM and the campaign.
What do you think, chat? There goes all our viewers. I don't know, fucking weirdos. I'm out of here.
Ooh, okay.
Said, what would you think D&D airplane food would be like?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not good.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea of an airplane in a D&D high fantasy game.
It's like a dragon
Well-
that has like multiple seats on its back.
It would be like Dungeons
how I
and
have-
Delta Airlines.
Oh, God.
It's like you have chromatic and metallic dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like chromatic probably won't work, but metallic, because a lot of them are supposed to be like good.
Okay.
That might work for.
Just
They hoard airplane food.
just ancient metallic dragon airlines. It's just a
And
you know which one is
pilots are the
which, just because
bard.
they're slightly different colors.
Yeah.
But I think the food, you know, would be relatively simple. It wouldn't be as crappy as modern day airplane food. It'd be more simplistic.
Fossilized crap. That's what they serve.
You know, you might have someone that knows prestidigitation, let's say, on the back of the dragon as you're flying with like some sort of covering system. Everybody's sitting and saying, "Would you like chicken or fish?"
Oh,
okay,
no.
here. Just snap their fingers. It's now
Fish
heated.
and
Here you go.
chips for everyone.
Clerics
Frog in the
create
back.
food and water.
Yeah, there you go. Claire creates food and water. Here's your meal, in-flight meal for the rest of the trip.
Thank you
Enjoy.
for flying Dungeons and Delta Airlines today. Where are you going? I don't know.
So
It's like a
very
mystery
bland.
flight.
I wouldn't say bland. I would say simple. Would definitely be the
Aw.
best bet.
So no vodka.
I didn't say no to alcohol. I just said simple.
Grog in the back.
Vodka is very simple.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
if it doesn't
Trivic
have
will
L.O.R.E
need
cookies,
vodka.
I don't want it.
Larks, oatmeal cookies, and peanut butter.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. And chocolate chip.
So would
That'd
this
be hilarious.
be in a? Would the airplane be in a fantasy time frame?
It could be. It'd be. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I don't know if any of you have seen. I forget how old this movie is. Reign of Fire, with the one with Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale, and it's all about the dragons that kind of like come back from like ancient times and just destroy the world, and everybody has to live.
Good, the movie.
That sounds fucking awful.
It's actually a pretty good movie. It's an
pretty
old
cool.
movie.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting concept in modern day where dragons come back from hibernation after thousands upon thousands of years. They emerge from underground and they take over the world. And it's just a big premise of that movie was that there was no flight or travel like that because they destroyed all the airplanes and all the helicopters and everything like that. So in that concept, it's like, yeah, you have an airplane, but you know, the odd time you have like a dragon or something on equal scale, like let's say like a sky swimmer or
Equal
a rock
dragon scale.
or
Yeah.
on equal scale, yeah.
Did you just say a rock was an equal scale?
I'm thinking large scale, like huge sized creatures.
Rocks are like
No, there is a
You-
bird creature called a rock.
oh
It is a huge or gargantuan type bird. It's like those mythic ancient birds, just massive and
I know
scary.
you're.
Yeah.
Like they're massive. Like, aren't they supposed to be like? Aren't they like bigger than ancient dragons or something?
I think they're on par in terms of size, in terms of like the whole D&D scaling system. But
Yeah.
they're a large beast.
a large beast?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, they're bigger than large.
They have to be. Unless they changed it for 5th edition.
That's what it says, but let me see if I can find it.
Rock. A
They're not
gargantuan monstrosity. So yeah. They're as big as ancient dragons. If
Awesome.
not same size. But yeah, you got things like that flying around. And then even bigger, you know, I don't know if any of you are familiar with some of the Ravnica monsters, the Sky Swimmer, which is essentially a giant flying centipede monster.
Ew.
Yeah. Fun.
Or you could do like what is it? Spelljammer,
Yeah,
You
that's
could
what I
go
was
that
thinking.
route.
Spelljammer with the
like the floating ships and stuff.
you got the sky whales, whatever they're called. I can't.
Or like what Matthew did in the other Matthew. The not so cool.
Not you.
The not so cool, not so popular is Mr. Garo Matthew.
Sure.
The one with 2 T's in it, because he could afford 2 T's. I'm kidding. What was it? I think it was their first campaign, Vox Machinas, where they were riding like this
Wait.
floating ship that had like crystals on the bottom, like magical crystals that they
Yeah.
had,
Oh, an
like,
airship?
yeah, like and
Colin, thumbs up when he's done.
No, it's not. It's not.
Not a spoiler.
happened in the show that you watched?
Yeah, it's not spoiler at all. It's just
What?
the
Oh
ship
my
that they
goodness.
used was powered by
Really?
these
It's
magical
like 7 years
crystals.
old.
Yeah.
Hey, better late than never. I'm trying, okay?
It's
I
not
don't-
spoiled.
I don't wanna get
You've gotten
spoiled.
past the point where they use the airship.
Like,
Okay, I didn't know we were talking about the airship.
our good friend Chrono Raven asks, would boarding practices be similar to real life in D&D, or would they actually be practical?
I think they would be a lot more simplistic and more of there obviously be the security detail. It's like, okay, what do you have on you? Is it dangerous? Yada yada yada. If certain
Take out every magical item out of your pocket.
No, I think it'd be more so if we're using the dragon is the airplane,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't much to worry about because it's just like, okay, well, you can't mess around with the dragon because the dragon, will just eat you. Just turn its head around and just nope, you're done.
Instead
Eat you.
instead
Or
of
just
the,
knock you off.
It's upside down.
instead of metal detectors, there's just two drunk dudes, like a wizard and a bard, just casting detect magic constantly.
Oh God.
And whenever they pick it up, they just go beep beep, beep beep, sir, beep beep. We're gonna need you to empty your bag of holding.
Actually, we're just gonna take the bag of holding. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could
Someone's
also, if you're
casting
going like
invisibility.
the ship route, there could also be like anti-magic zones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, the very first game I ran, I came up with something like that. It had nothing to do with like travel base. It was more of like a tavern that had like a metal detector sort of thing. And it's like, in order to get through, you have to you have to set aside or like check in all your weapons and dangerous items and whatever. And I remember one of my players, he tried to sneak in a dagger or something. And because he was a halfling, it was enough that when he went through the metal archway, he got stuck to the archway.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, no, you can't take that in with you.
Guys. I think, let's see. Would be
Wait a
similar
minute.
to the real
So,
life. I
if
think it
someone
would be
had
more
like a
practical.
magical body part and you went into a no magic zone,
I don't think it would be a big deal because you have teleportation, you have all manners of like fast travel, tree
That is
stride,
true.
transport via plants. So if you were to go the long, arduous way of riding some sort of gargantuan beast or monstrosity, you could do it. It won't be as difficult because just like they're gonna check you. What are you bringing with you? All right, just don't fuck with the ride, and you go fly over.
What is this? It's a
But-
portable oxygen concentrator. I have COPD. COPD and D.
But no, that is a good point though with teleportation. I mean, if you have teleportation, and that make travel a whole lot different, as in, of course that would depend on how available that is. But if it's readily available, then it'd just be kind of seems like it'd be stations to use the teleporting center.
I think a good example of that being in play was, if any of you know High Rollers, there was a portion in Mark Hume's campaign where they were traveling different planets, and the planets were represented as if they were the different planes, the outer planes, and they all had like these teleportation things that you could travel from planet to planet to planet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go somewhere, okay, you have to go through like customs or whatever, or something similar like that to be checked in. Okay, you're here, you're going to this place, great.
And I thought I was being original for a second there. That's how I do my outer planes as well. Them being planets.
Hey, never say dice.
Before you enter this teleportation field, do you have any seeds or plant buds? No.
yes, no.
No, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to step aside here. We're gonna have to do a search.
God damn it, they do this every time.
Freaking druids, God.
You know,
Because
this
I'm a
is
half
race.
orc, isn't it?
So,
Hi, demand to see. The manager is just the dragon.
so
Oh
now,
no.
now that we have
Dragon's the manager.
more than a handful of people watching, yay! If anybody in chat would like to jump in and ask anything about, I mean,
Whatever you want.
anything you want, but
Yeah.
also anything the Guise of Untamed Beast related or character stuff. We are open, like an open coloring book. That would be me.
Well, I mean,
Open sesame.
even you three, the players, if you have questions that I could maybe divulge, I'm more than happy to try and answer your questions. Because
Wow.
I love talking lore, so to speak. I have a handful of friends that always ask me all the stuff that I write, and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Is there... How... Oh, wait, we got a question here. If you could switch characters with another player, who would it be and why? Ooh.
I think that's more for you three.
Romic, give me your character.
No, Matt.
No.
Your part is he have the most amount of characters than any of us.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God, Matt.
I mean, in a weird
Dude, if
way.
Matt gave us characters, be like, you get to play this, this, and this. That'd be
I
terrifying.
mean, in a weird way, I do have all the previous players' characters as well,
Yeah,
such
God.
as Ornn, Zilri, Zorl.
all the Z's.
Yeah, they're all.
Z sounds that all start with X's.
Swap out to be the main villain.
That one doesn't count because you haven't met the main villain yet.
If you could switch characters with another player, who would it be and why? Okay. I think I would trade places with Moon, because Roxanne plays Moon so well, and I think it would be fun to like try to go from being a big dumb idiot to a little small mischievous like I don't know, like I just that and animals. Wild shape, because wild shape. I would probably be wild shaping all the time, like inappropriate situations.
Yeah, but you're not necessarily being Moon because Roxanne plays Moon a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're gonna try and mimic her personality and whatnot.
So is this like a scenario where like characters switched bodies essentially?
Not so much. I think the premise of the question is more of if we were to swap characters. So let's say I play everything. So if I were to okay, let's say if I were to pick one of the players' characters to swap and play as, I would probably pick Azazel.
Dang, that was gonna be my choice.
You can have the same choice. I would say Azazel because he's kind of on. I kind of play those logical characters a lot, so that's kind of like more in my wheelhouse.
Right. That makes sense. What about
Okay,
you,
wait.
Colin?
I take it back because I can't. I'm not a wheelhouse person.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
It would be
I still want Trovic.
it would be close from either Moon or L.O.R.E, because I did play a cleric before, so I'm kind of familiar with that, and I've played bards like enough to like I don't.
That's a mood.
Yeah. I don't even know.
I mean,
what
it
that
doesn't
means.
have to be. It doesn't have to be class because of the class or
No,
because you
it's,
played
well,
it
it's
before.
the character.
Yeah, it's the character.
Yeah, it would probably be. Moon would be first for sure, and then probably L.O.R.E, just because I'd want to put a new spin to the cookies. Magic cookie,
Meat.
cookie lady. Yeah.
You have anything in mind, Colin? Or
Yeah, I think I would switch out if I had to. I think I'd switch out with Luminary
okay,
because she has
I
some
don't
pretty cool
wanna see that.
spells to use.
She does. She's scary.
Bards are dope as shit. That's why I always play
Yeah.
them.
I mean,
love
yeah,
bards.
when you use a spell I made and I realize,
Listen, Matt.
well,
You
no,
created this, and now you must deal with it.
it just
Yeah.
you broke it. I bounced it out well, and you managed to broke it.
Break.
to break it.
Broke it.
You
done
broke it. Let's see. We got Castin131. Have you guys thought about potentially doing a one-shot or a small mini campaign involving new game releases, Dragonfight, BG3 Bard release, etc.?
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about those.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just don't know how much time I would have to learn a new system.
Yeah, I mean, that's an issue.
Let us just do our 5e till we grow old and die.
I don't even know the
Well,
rules of
I'm not-
5e yet.
They just, yeah. They're gonna
Yeah, they're
update them in a
coming
couple. They're gonna update them in 2 years, guaranteed.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
6
please.
is right around the corner.
Well, it's,
I wouldn't say 6. I would say
Was
it's
it
more
at-
like a 5.5.
5.5.
I was about to say, yeah, I think it's gonna be a 5.5.
They've
then.
already done so much with the new books and content and like,
I was like,
class editions and
Monsters of the
subclasses.
Multiverse. Like they
Yeah.
rebalanced so many creatures. It's insane.
Can we talk about Spelljammer coming out on D&D Beyond?
I'm excited.
like,
See, I'm
What
not
is
too familiar with.
Spelljammer?
It's essentially D&D in space.
Yo, I want to go space.
what? Quote that, please. Clip it.
Yo, I wanna
I
go
want
in
to go
space.
space.
It was like,
I'll have what she was smoking, please.
well, it's like I was, because for my campaign, you know, it's gonna be set in the same universe, but you know, it goes through different, you know, time periods. I know the last one, you know, if you ever get there, you know, would be in space. So like the last campaign would be in space, and Spelljammer, you know, this new release of Spelljammer would help out a whole hell of a lot.
It definitely brings a whole new dynamic because then you have, well, you have the nautical element. You have outer plane traveling. You have, you know, a series of different things. I like, though there have been some elements, I try and kind of like have that in between going where it's like a mixture of like modern day versus medieval style. I have been reworking everything and rewriting. Well, I wouldn't say rewriting, but writing more or updating in the past few weeks. But you know, there's the whole element of traveling through the astral sea or space or however Spelljammer. I'm not as familiar with Spelljammer. All I know is it's D&D in space and watch out for the mind flares.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, not the mind flares.
I'm pretty
But I
sure
guess-
it is the astral sea.
Yeah. Other than
Yes.
that, I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. I mean, it's probably going to be, it should be built into the same system. I mean, like I know they have Dark Sun, I know they have Dragonlance, and I found it's more that all it is a setting change.
Yeah.
At least from my purview, it's only a setting change. The ruling systems are the same. I've looked into Pathfinder quite a bit as well, and I do find it's a lot more extensive. I don't want to say complicated at times, though it can be. It is a lot more extensive. And for people that have a hard time trying to just grasp the rules of 5e, which seem to be the simplest they've ever been, it's like Pathfinder, it's more for a different group of people. Though I don't disregard it. I've always wanted to try Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes. That would be cool.
Because, you know, vampires. I am a vampire. Why can't I be a vampire in a game?
I don't understand what's going on.
I think one of the...
All I'm thinking about is space now.
I could be wrong, but I know Caston, when he said BG3, I'm assuming that's Baldur's Gate 3 Bard release, because I know they just, talking about Baldur's Gate 3, the video game, I know they just announced the release of the Bards and Gnomes now, the Gnome race. So I'm
Oh,
super
no.
excited about that. Dude, like, I want to like go off the rails here just for a second and just say, like, I would love to get a 4-player Baldur's Gate 3 campaign going on L.O.R.E on here on this channel.
I know we also want to do like a Divinity Original Sin 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm always still down to.
I
game
have a
was fun.
question.
Yes.
So like, if a
Spacing.
player, you're gonna make me space out again. If a player ever wanted to DM like anybody, would they be able to, like, for a one shot?
I mean,
Little
Because
Most
I've been debating on it, but also I don't know any rules. I'm like running a campaign. I'm like,
That's
okay,
the
I'm just
best,
throwing
though.
things out of my butt
Here's the
right
thing.
now.
That's
Here's
the
the
best
thing.
way to do it.
I've watched a lot of content. I've done a lot of research. I make my own stuff. And the rule of thumb is know what you can. You won't know everything. If you know everything, that is great. You'll be one of a very few who
Mhm.
will. But if you don't know all the rules, that's okay. Either someone else at the table will, or as the DM, you make it up on the spot. That's the call, and you come back to it later and double check it. And if you realize it was wrong, hey, okay, going forward, this is the rule. Now that I know it, now that I remember it, that's it. It's literally all trial by fire. And then the more you do it, the better you get, the more you will remember. Like, I still forget stuff half the time.
Yeah.
It's just, there are a lot of rules to D&D 5e, but it's not as much as it used to be in other editions.
Yeah.
At least from what I understand.
Yeah, ask Matthew. He had to suffer as a player through my campaign when we were streaming that before we just went with the guys of Untamed Beasts. Like,
But remembering all the rules?
no, dealing with me as a DM because I never DM'd before, and I was just kind of seat of the pants, as they say, like just
Yeah.
making it up as I went along. And if I got a rule wrong and nobody caught it, we just kind of went with it. If somebody caught it, then we kind of just adjusted it, and it was super duper fun.
The first game I ever ran, I ran it for 2 years straight. You learn as you go.
Mm-hmm. The amount.
But yeah, if you wanted to run something, you're more than welcome to. All you have to do is just find
Calling
people
you
who
cut
want to.
out.
You just have to find people that want to play. Be like, hey, I want to run this game. This is what I have in mind. Anybody interested? And guarantee you'll find a handful of people. Whether it's here on L.O.R.E or whether it's in other channels, whether it's in the community. I think I know a couple websites. I know double check, but like, there's a lot of places you can search, especially online. It's a lot easier to meet and greet and make new friends, meet new people, play different games. It doesn't have to be D&D. It can be whatever you want.
Yeah. We did last year. We did for the big Extra Life game day. We had Grant Howlett come on, the creator of Honey Heist and Skeletons, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Like they do some big games too, like some big publishing games too now. But everybody knows Honey Heist from Critical Role.
Yeah.
So like we had him come on and play, and Never Say Dice was our DM or GM or Skeleton Master. I don't know what you want to call it. Bone BM or Bone Master. Never mind.
No,
Please don't.
maybe not that way.
Please don't do that one.
You're now our Bone Master. Never Say Dice. But that was
He's gonna hate us
much
for
fun.
that. Yeah. So it's up to you. I mean, I know I tried to encourage a lot of people last year, like, hey, anybody want to run a game? Anybody want to run a game? There's a lot of people who say they want to run a game.
Yeah.
Now's your chance. I'll gather people up for you. I think I did scrounge up a couple of individuals, some stray individuals, and we ran a couple of games. I had different DMs, and I was just kind of, I didn't even participate. I was just like, I got it ready for you. Here you go. Go have fun.
Be free.
That was
Ooh,
crazy.
ooh, now
I
it's
blew
slow.
up for a while, and then like it all kind of like fell down.
Slow down a little bit. Yeah, because that was when, because then fall arrived, and we had like school starting. Everybody had to go back to work or whatever the case may be. Summer was over, and it's just like, okay, we're all a little bit too busy now.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's quite fair.
I wasn't there yet, so I don't know.
Sorry. Well, you're in this game,
Yeah,
so there you go.
we were in a. Well, I was in Portal World, and he was here. He was on Discord. That's where you were, Colin.
You were in what world?
I said I was in Twitter World. What do you think I said?
I thought you said you were in Portal World. I was trying to figure out what that meant.
Space.
Completely.
So, what is your world called, Matthew? That we are currently existing in.
It is called Orenbros.
I'm sorry.
Lot of
I did not
ores.
hear that right. Can you please say that? Thank you.
Orenbros.
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 Just gonna write that
Or-
down.
Or Orenbros, however you want to pronounce it. I've kind of go back and forth sometimes.
Chrono Raven, thank you. Cats and
I thought you said
Catastrophes.
Oberon floss. I'm like,
That's something I would love to do again, is expand on the Cats and Catastrophes world that we did before.
Oh, jeez.
Cats and Catastrophes.
It's a game that I made up. Basically, I'll try to do this as short as possible. It's your cats in the roaring 1920s during the Great Depression in New York City. And by day, you're house cats, and by night, you're catnip smugglers.
You have my interest.
Go check out the YouTube videos. They're on there. They're great.
Oh, jeez, that was.
Chrono was part of our, and
Chrono was
Matthew-
one of the players. I was one of the players.
Yeah.
We had a few other people. Can't remember. It
It
was like a year ago. Jeez.
Dio was one of our players, wasn't he?
Oh yes, yes.
It was because it was his last thing, and he was like fading. We were all fading. That was like
Oh, that was a long
12
day.
hours by then that we were streaming the whole
Jeez.
Extra Life marathon thing.
Yep.
But, oh my, yeah, that was super fun. I would love to dive into that world again. I have so many ideas like in my phone, like in my notepad thingy.
Make him as one shots.
Yeah,
Make
what
little
I'm
one
gonna do.
shots.
I'm never. I don't think I ever want to do a campaign, but I'll just keep doing little one shots, meow shots.
Man, the urge to pull out the My Little Pony world just so I could do that one shot would be awesome, but no one would play with me.
My Little Pony.
Yeah, they did
Boy.
one on
Yeah, Mark-
Critical Role once.
Yeah, I want to do
Mark
it so
Hughes
bad.
was
Yeah.
the DM for that one.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm addicted to
It
that
was
show. Okay,
hilarious.
you're gonna hear that a lot from me.
You started watching it again, so yeah, that's all I hear.
Yeah, I started watching it again last night. I watched about 6 episodes with my friend last night. So that's all I can think about right now.
I can't get the fact that I can't get it out of my head that Robot Chicken did like a My Little Pony spoof, like they do with everything
That was
else.
hilarious.
And since then, all I say is My Little Pony, Apocalypse Pony. That's all I ever refer to it as.
Apocalypse Pony. See, there's a premise right there. You have a campaign.
Apocalypse Pony. Oh god.
You are the 4 horsemen, or the 4 horses
Yeah.
The poor horse.
of Armageddon. You must lead your horsemen.
You were the 4 little ponies of death and destruction.
Death.
Destruction.
I'm pestilent.
So,
I'm famine.
tell us more about your world, Matthew. What
What would you like to know?
what part are we on? Are we like on the southwest? Are we on like
Oh, location-wise.
yeah, like if we were looking at a map, say like the traditional Swords of the No, wait.
Like a Swords of the Coast is
or
just
Sword Coast. Like if you were looking at that, like where would we be in relation to
comparing it to Sword Coast.
that? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Sword Coast, because I've seen the full map of. Let me rephrase.
The extended version's pretty
I've
crazy.
seen an extended Forgotten Realms map, but I know it's incomplete. The Sword Coast is just like a country compared to the rest of the Forgotten Realms map that I've seen.
Mhm.
But in terms of all of you are currently in the northeastern hemisphere. If I were to describe it, there are how many again? There are 8 continents scattered around the planet. You're on the northeastern side of the hemisphere, within the continent of Astaroth. And then it kind of goes a little bit more northwestern. There's another one, it's called Nyxeris. And then you've got... Which one is it again? You have the Isles of Senris, which are like this tropical Caribbean style, right in the middle of the ocean. Kind of breaks up almost like a trail in a way. It kind of like scatters, but it builds up more and more as it gets towards the western side, which is Arkelian. Then you have...
Did you say R. Kelly?
Arkelian.
Oh.
Not R. Kelly.
Okay. It's like, do they pee on sheets?
Or go to jail?
Yeah. Never
Both?
mind.
Yeah,
Arkelian.
That's
It's a
politics.
little Arkelian. Yeah.
Okay.
That's public. Okay, sorry.
I haven't looked at it in a while. I've been writing a lot, but I haven't looked at it in a while. But I just pulled up my map that I drew a long time ago. So Astaroth is the country you guys are in.
Mhm.
You have the continent of Seraphia. Then above that is Nyxeris. Then you have over to the west is Arkelian, which kind of encompasses most of the western hemisphere. Then you have in the middle Zamandis, which is it's almost like something akin to like Australia. And then you have the Isles of Senris that kind of break off into that to like a Caribbean style. Then to the eastern side you have Okaiwan, which is more of like this very animalistic continent. And then to the southern region you have Galvin, which is the biggest continent on the planet. And then next to that, just off in between Arkelian and Galvin is Turkris, which is more of like a tumultuous, very temperamental weather continent. And they each have different elements to them, and I've just kind of been building up different points of them for the last few years, kind of like, okay, adjusting this, so things kind of make a little bit more sense. But originally it was just like, I'm just going to draw this here, I'm going to draw this here, I'm going to draw this here, let's call this one this, let's call this one this, let's call this one this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Usually, yeah. And I've just been slowly building up the culture, so to speak.
Is the majority of our existing party from relatively close areas, or are we all kind of scattered about from our origins?
Well, Moon and Lark live in Ramlo.
Yeah, they live right there.
Azazel is from the capital city of Sarandon, which is just
This is
in
where
the
we
next...
started, right?
No, which
Yeah.
is another province over.
Oh, okay. So we've never been there?
No.
This is how much I take notes.
It's all good. Your character is from another from another country over, from Zethan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've ever discussed for Ordain and Luminary where they would have come from, but I would assume or speculate that Ordain was probably from Zethan as well, and Luminary would probably be from the same country, maybe from a province over. What was it? Not Volhamana, but I gotta double check it off the top of my head. But yeah, like relatively within the same continent, I would say.
Cool.
I'm just like firing off names, and you guys are like, I don't know any of this.
Huh?
Well,
You're
that
talking
Interesting.
gibberish to me.
well, that does go into a couple questions I have.
Sure.
First question: is I know you do have a map there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in updating it and like handing some over that to me? Because I have a map tool. I can like have a thing to make maps. So if you want it updated, posted, I could probably make that.
Sure.
They're pretty detailed. He can add like
I
ranges,
can
snow areas,
Send
grassland.
an example of
About
one of
little
the first
stick
ones I
figures.
made.
Like I have 2 variations right now. I have like the world map, which is just, blue and green. This is the water. This is the land. And I
Yeah.
have one that's pretty much just Seraphia, very much detailed, that I've been working on the last 1.5 to 2 years, because most of the games I've been running have been within that general continent. I've kind of tried to spread it out a little bit, but at least I've been able to kind of create more detailed landmasses, locations, civilizations, and so on and so forth. I mean, I could send it to you. It's just don't have a concrete idea of what the rest of it's going to look like at a more
Right.
upscale, or like through a magnifying glass, or more of like a local map yet. But I
Right.
find I've also
I mean like more like big picture, because I know
true.
how it is with getting that more in-depth map. But I did send a example of how it would look. That's one of the ones I made.
Okay,
Sorry, mine.
Cool.
nice.
All right.
But-
This one's random. Oh, you had a second question, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry. My
No,
ADHD is like.
Go for it.
Another one is like, how are the races kind of dispersed in your world? Are they kind of like just kind of all over the place, mixed up everywhere, or are they like certain races are more prevalent in one area versus the other?
I kind of mix them up mostly, but there are clusters of certain ones in different continents because it's different climates, different regions, and as more races have been added to D&D, or they've expanded on other things, I've been figuring out ways to add them into the game world as well. So in your location now, it's mostly your static races, your humans, your elves, your dwarves, goblinoids, orcs, and I think it was one other one. I think it was dragonborn, are like the more common races.
Mm.
Or
Dwarves, elves, halflings, humans, goblins, hobgoblins, and orcs. Those are like the main races for this continent, like the more common. You'll kind of come across, I like to try and throw other races in here and there where I need to, but obviously they're going to be more of the uncommon based on the climate themselves. For another example would be Okaiwan, which is just south, is mostly bestial races, like Aarakocra, Kenku, kobolds, lizard folks, tabaxis, dragonborns, anything that's somewhat animalistic in either appearance or nature.
Cat.
And then like over, if you go further west to the Arkelian, which is mostly
Rappers.
It's mainly
hip-hop
Ganassi, Tiefling, and Drow are like the big ones there. So I kind of like try and spread them out here and there.
Alright.
I can't unhear Arkelian now. I really can't. Every time you say it,
I'm gonna have to change that now. Welcome to Arkelian. What?
Say-
Arkelian? Okay, fuck.
What is a dad dab? I'm
Where-
looking at these rewards and challenges. I'm
Where
so
is-
confused.
Where is Dio? Oh, he's out Arkelian. He'll be back. Oh no,
Chris.
somebody should get him.
Terrible.
Chris, what are these?
Those are old and unused.
What-
I
What
think.
is a dad dab?
No, Chrono. God damn it.
What is a dad dab?
It's just me being old doing this. Because that's...
Oh, okay.
I thought, like, it'd be... No, stop it.
Thank you, Chrono. We
R.
love
Kelly
that.
in jail. See, there we go.
Yes, R. Kelly is in jail. That's
R.
why
Kelly
I said
in-
no.
R. Kelly in jail. Let's go visit the R. Kelly in jail.
No, you don't want to go visit the prisons. That's not a
No,
fun time.
seriously, let's go tell him we said hi. Hey, bro, I
Oh
just...
my god!
The yeet.
Chrono!
No. I don't even remember what the yeet was. I think it was literally just a sound effect where I just queued up the yeet.
Yeet.
But I found that it kept looping, so I was
Hey,
like,
Chris.
damn it.
Your ADHD is kicking in again. What was your question?
Oh, no. Oh,
Oh god. Oh god.
I'm just gonna freeze.
Oh, there's a
pose
dab
like
again.
this.
Dab. Oh, we got dab again.
Who did? No. Why would you?
Just thank you for tuning in tonight, folks.
See?
And we are now at the point in the show
This is what
where
happens.
we make
when
fun
you
of
leave.
Chris.
Dab.
Yeah,
On your
making fun of
stream.
Chris. Making fun of Chris.
I quit.
Someone got a little too into making fun of Chris.
I'll do it again.
Dab into disappear.
You really were. You were just gone.
Was I?
Yeah, you dabbed and like your whole body.
Oh,
Just
look.
There he goes.
I'm out.
He's
gone.
dead, Jim.
That's my new exit. I'm just like
That's
dabbing
an
away.
amazing exit.
Chris Ferguson out. Go.
Got stuck halfway. Teleportation gone wrong.
There.
His teleportation messed up a little bit, but it's
Ferguson
okay.
out.
See, this is why we take the dragons, guys.
It takes some time. This is why I'm Trovic. Stupid teleporter did not work for the big orc.
This is bullshit.
It only sends my head.
No, Trovic smell bullshit.
Trovic smell good, and you know what Trovic smell bullshit. That's still one of my favorite lines. Oh, I love that.
Oh man. See what you guys did to me? Chat.
No,
Oh,
I didn't do
man.
anything.
I like how I'm like, keep the questions coming, and then it's like, dab,
Dab, dab, dab, dab,
dab,
dab.
dab, 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 dab. Did somebody say
Did someone say
dab,
dab, dab?
It's like, this is what my life has become. Remember me. Put it on my tombstone. Died from dad dabbing. Forever rest in dab. Oh. Damn you. Okay. Thanks, you do the sound effects now. My question was for... What is on in here? Is it just me? No? Okay.
Okay,
For Lexi.
You're in the hot seat.
me.
Mhm.
Lex
Okay.
is in the hot seat.
All right.
Hi.
This is a completely voluntary question.
Okay.
How close was Trovic to calling Luminary's bullshit when he said that she seemed like someone on the run?
Close.
You've got 12,000 points. Please don't spend them.
Oh, do it. Send more
save,
dabs.
save them for.
I've got
save
12k
them-
points.
No,
I
don't-
can keep
don't
this
use
up.
Save them for. Save
No,
them for next
um,
Monday.
Yeah, no, Luminary has some shady shit that she's hiding. That she's hiding.
That she's hitting.
That
Shitting.
she's hidden.
She's got some
You
shady
know?
shit she's shading.
I mean, if you guys really want to turn it into a dabbing stream at the expense of Chris, you're more than welcome to.
Good night, everybody. Oh my god.
10 hours of
12K,
Chris dabbing.
15K, shall we turn to... No, please no.
No, Luminary chooses to keep a lot of it secret, especially because she actually respects Trovic, so she's trying to keep a lot of that to herself. So Trovic doesn't know.
Well, Trovic... sensed-
Trovic's already onto her.
Yeah. Trovic smelled bullshit.
I'm actually curious now. Which part?
There was a
Which part's what?
that Trovic and Luminary were exchanging conversation about something, and like Trovic picked up on like a
He incited on her
Yeah.
about
hey,
oh God,
nobody's-
what was it? I don't
Nobody
even
said
remember. But he could definitely tell that she was lying. That she's like,
Oh,
what? I didn't do anything wrong.
Was it with Voda? I think it had something to do with Voda. Memory serves.
It was before we started streaming, unfortunately, so we can't pull
Yeah.
it back up. But it was definitely a moment where Trivic was like, not that he didn't trust her. It was more of a like, well, I've got some shit, so what do you got? You know, kind of like we all got shit. Like Trovic don't use levatory.
Oh,
so...
I think it was. It started off when you were asking about, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm an entertainer. And it's like, okay, well, what do you entertain? And it's like, I just, dance. Kind of that. It's like, okay, then why are you helping us?
All
I
she
need
does
money.
is she does belly dance. She just came for the money. That's all. That's the only reason why she came. No, nothing else at all. No shady shit.
Chris was like, yeah, I'm on to
Yeah,
you.
no.
Trovic was like,
Yeah.
okay.
too.
You got fucked up issues. We got fucked up issues. Welcome to party.
No, Luminary has respect for Trovic. Trovic's like her favorite person out of the party. So she's like, okay, if anyone's not gonna know, it's not gonna be Trovic. What's going on? But we never know. It might be on L.O.R.E that gets released. It might never get released. Who knows?
Oh, we're gonna.
Oh God,
release
another
it.
dab.
Son of a bitch. That'll be Trovic when he's like, I got it. I found out the truth. She is a wizard.
Oh my God.
She's the evil wizard that is making the beast do the untamed things.
Yeah, Luminary was the BBEG the whole time. Yep.
Yep.
See, even
Well,
Matt
I did
said
swap out the BBEG.
Well, now it's exclusive. You guys know. I guess the word's out.
Have Colin or Matthew, have either of you ever had a player at your table that wanted to be the bad guy of the party, like the betrayer?
I was.
Yes.
to a degree. To a degree.
Yeah.
Not be the villain, but more of like be the antagonist of the group.
Yeah. Well, I had one.
Actually, that was two.
Yeah. Well, I had one that definitely wanted to be the betrayer, the bad guy. But I had another one who wanted to become a lich. When one of the main baddies is Vecna. So I'm like, I don't know how this would turn out, but alright, we'll see how far it goes, and end up dying. So that character ended up dying, so never found out, but that could have gone a very interesting way.
What about you, Matthew?
Tell us your secrets.
They've
Matt.
both been kind of indirect, not like personal or anything where it was just the characters that they played. It just seemed they were willing to work with the party to a degree, but it's just like, my goals are this. My focus is, one character was School of Necromancy Wizard, and it was all about, I want to use the undead as not so much servants but as tools to help with a lot of things. There was like that fine line where it's like, this is kind of bad, but I can see where you're going with it. That could be good, but kind of walking the fine line. But it was just they played them in a very single focused personality. It was very monotonic. It was very me before you kind of mentality, very dry. And so there was that break. And when the rest of the party wanted to do something, because they were mostly morally inclined to do it out of the goodness of their heart or for something, it was more of like, okay, I'm doing this because it's going to benefit me in some way. And then another one is in a similar vein, not so much a necromancer, but more of an artificer. It was more of like, I want to do this because, you know, it's going to be useful. I want to make these things. I want to, you know, go to this area. I want to have this stuff because it'll benefit me in making all these things that will be useful for whoever needs it. It's like, okay, well, we can't steal this stuff from people. We can't, you know, keep this. It doesn't belong to us. It's like, so what? It's like, who cares? It's like that kind of, it was the only one where this one was a very stark, you know, morally good group, and this person's the only one where it's just like, I want to do all the bad shit, but I want to do all the bad shit because it's going to help me further my goals to help everybody, even the party, even though they're not going to like it. But this is what I want to do. It's just like,
Nice.
and it's, you know, it's okay as long as it doesn't cause friction at the table beyond the characters.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I had one backfire on me once. I'll try to keep it short. A friend wanted to join us, and the way he was writing his character, I was like, "You're basically describing Glassstaff," because anybody that plays the intro campaign knows who Glassstaff is in the Red Brands. I should probably say the campaign name. What is it? The Lost Mines of Phandelver. And so I was like, well, why don't we do this? Why don't, like, I can, like, give me like a day, and I'll basically like rewrite Glassstaff to be, instead of a bad guy, he's like a plant for the good guys, but he had to dive in so deep undercover and actually had to become Glassstaff and do bad things in order to keep his reputation secure, like his guise, basically, and disguise, whatever. And it was a great plan, and the twist was great, and like the players were all like, "Oh, what?" When he's like, "I'm Glassstaff, but I'm not actually like Glassstaff. I'm actually, my name's blah blah blah, and I'm actually working for da da da." And then one of my other players,
name's Jim.
yeah, one of my other players, this is right before you joined too, was being a total hard ass on him, and the player himself who was playing him had like real bad social anxiety or something and was taking it real personal, and they actually started bickering on stream, and I was like, oh no. And it just like went south real fast, and we had to like stop the stream, and like he was like, I'm not playing with people that are mean to me. I'm like, okay, cool, man.
I mean,
her character was like, but I was mad at both of them because like I was like, you didn't have to like keep digging at him. You could have like realized he was like as a person like getting uncomfortable and backed off, but you kept digging. Maybe they just didn't like each other.
It's possible. Not every person,
Don't do it, kids.
not every person at a gaming table may or may not get along with each other. But no, that was an interesting twist of things. How you took a preset module and made it your own.
That was what I was loving about the whole when we were talking about Lexi doing a one shot, or like never DMing before. It was like, I highly encourage it. You highly, I mean, everybody highly encourages it. Like, speaking from experience, what I did was like, I think I told you before, like before you joined, I was like, I'm taking the Fandelver campaign, and I'm just kind of going. We're just kind of going with it. I mean, when I started the campaign, we didn't even have that book. Like, I didn't have anything, so I was like, my friend got me hooked on Doctor Who, so I was like, you're all you in real life, but then there's this sound booth that pops up that looks kind of like a phone booth, and then this Scottish accent guy comes out and teleports you to another world, and one by one I teleported all of them into a tavern, because that's what you do. Sent them to some mansion and had them, do stuff, and like...
I have a question.
Anyway, yeah.
So, for those who have DM'd, I mean, I can answer it too, because I'm doing my own campaign. Yeah, for those who have DM'd, everyone here, what is at least you think, the greatest plot twist you've done so far in any campaign you've done? I need them to think. Yes.
Silence.
Does it have to be a campaign, or can it be a one-shot?
It could be a one-shot.
Okay. Because I did a Stranger Things spin and called it Ranger Things, and everybody had to be a Ranger class. And I think
That's
the biggest
amazing.
spin was when I ran out of how to get them out of the video store / arcade. I was like, they're not moving. I need to get them out. And then I was just like, you know what? Freaking David Hasselhoff is showing up as Knight Rider in his fucking bathing suit, because 2 shows in once, and
What?
he kills something and just like, come on, get out of here. That was like the spin, and that was it for me. So
That sounds like an amazing trip.
it was, I think. Chrono, were you? I feel like you were in for that one too, weren't you? Yes, he was. 99.9%. Yeah, Ranger Things. Chrono's been in all of our things. He's our little baby.
A little bubba.
He's our bubba. David Hasselhoff couldn't even give us a ride. See, yeah. He didn't even give him a ride. Yep. Carl, that's right. He was Carl. Anyway, please. I'm not trying to hog the spotlight. It's hot up in here.
You know, like sitting in the hot seat, I see.
Yeah.
In terms of a twist, I can't say that I've had... See, I've had a few plot twists, but they either haven't gotten to that point where they were revealed yet, or in my first game, because we never finished, they didn't end up getting to the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually the accumulation of over a handful of sessions or a series of sessions over the adventure that's whatever they're doing. I think the most interesting I did and that I threw at my a set of players was trapping them in a moving island. But this is not, because I know I did something similar as a one-shot.
Yeah.
This was my original, and that was like the very fast condensed version. The original was all the players were one of the characters had a very special book because he was a knowledge cleric, so he constantly wrote everything he knew, and everything he had was in this one book, and it was like an endless journal, so to speak. And it went missing while they were on a boat. And when they were trying to find it, they found that it was somewhere in this lake with the rumored moving island. And a lot of rumors and things that people had been talking about is like, yeah, shit goes missing around this area. There's something up with it. It just kind of, no one ever gets to that island. So they purposely found a way to get to the island. When they got there, they realized, oh shit, we're trapped in this island now, because it's not actually an island. It's a small little floating rock that's a planar dimension to a Morcott's lair. And within the layer itself, where, it was an accumulation of a hoard of treasure collected over eons, including people. So they had to deal with the Morkoth and rescue all the prisoners. And it was just, that was that thing for them where it was just like, we were not expecting this. It's like, hey, I found my book and all this. Now what?
Nice. Love it. What's you, Colin?
I had a few twists and turns.
The Lime Warriors have gone through quite a bit in the past 3 years.
Long
I've had a
campaign.
few. I don't want...
What's one
know.
that you can recall?
There, I think there's 3 standouts for.
Definitely Hobbinwood has to be one.
Yeah.
Who?
Hobbinwood.
Oh
They-
no, you've used a Hobbinwood too?
You've used the Hobbinwood?
Mhm.
we as a party deemed him Hobbinwood. That's
Yeah.
not his real name.
Yeah.
So
It's a tiefling ranger.
the big bad at the time. We'll call him Hobbinwood because I can't remember his actual name at the moment. They kept having run-ins with him, and they had a run-in with him, but he was disguised as, someone else because every time they had seen him before, he was in full plate armor. Couldn't see his face or anything, and the only standout thing was he was missing the same eye that this new guy was. And they had a couple of run-ins with this new random NPC that they had teamed Hobbinwood because he was like a ranger type NPC. And after having a couple run-ins with him, he ended up helping them revive one of their party members and one of the NPCs that had been with the
Hey,
party.
Colin, your mic is cutting in and out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is it? It could be because my horse is my horse. Could be,
Someone's
could be
been playing
because-
too much Red Dead.
No, I was gonna say it could be because my voice is very hoarse. I almost said my horse is very voice.
My horse is very voice.
Nay.
Clip that.
Hey.
Someone clip that.
No, he had ended up helping them for a little while, and it was only when they had gotten to their objective and all that did he reveal who he truly was before taking what he needed and leaving. So that's definitely one of the standout ones.
Cool.
It's kind of the old NPC betrayal.
I want to give a shout out real quick to Gauntlet. I'm not sure if he's watching or not, but he's asking questions to me, DMing him on Discord. So I'm assuming he is, or he just knows we're streaming. But without one that won't take up time, because this one's funny. He says to me, he says, your beard seems to be getting smaller, and Matthew's is getting thicker. Coincidence, or is this related?
Wait. Oh, did you guys realize that Collins is gone?
Yeah, we did.
I'm just
I was
He's
gonna say,
absorbing them all.
What we're doing is like we're just donating our hairs to Matthew. And eventually, that'll just be a conglomerate of Colin and Chris hairs.
Oh.
see, by that merit, if that was true,
Let me rephrase.
my beard would be
Facial
like this.
hairs. We're magically donating our hair. Okay, never mind. This is just
Look,
going bad.
Just warn me if you have some like stray red hairs in there.
Yeah.
I actually do.
Then
have
now,
hair.
wait, you do?
I do.
He really is. He really is taking our hair.
I've got brown, blonde, red, and white.
Ain't that a fun combination?
Isn't it?
Oh, what else? Matthew's new handle, the Beard Lich.
Oh God.
Or
Oh yeah.
the Weird Bitch.
Weird. Nah, I think that one fits Trovic more.
That's,
The
that's
weird
me.
bitch.
I'm sorry,
Weird
I am
bitch.
the Weird Bitch.
I am weird bitch.
I am Trovic is Weird Bitch.
Oh, I was gonna say, actually, going back to that, I do remember a plot twist, but it wasn't one I created.
Mm-hmm.
One of my players, he wanted to play a vampire, so I ended up making him a vampire through all these custom things and whatnot. And as the campaign was going on, there was only one player that knew,
The Beard Lich.
and everybody slowly started finding out in different ways. And when they found out, it was just like, oh my God. Oh, it was like everyone was just freaking out. It's like, you're a vampire? But then the funny thing was, they somehow turned it on itself, where it's like, he's not a vampire. No. The logical thing is, he's a prince. I don't know how the two tied together.
He's obviously a prince.
He's
because
royalty.
princes-
He's royal. That's the why he's, he doesn't like the sunlight. He's always got these fancy clothes.
Yeah,
You know,
if
he
you
speaks
watch
with
the
his hair.
news, you'll see the peoples with the prince. They're always inside during the day and prancing around in fancy clothes at nighttime,
Oh,
Leave it to
totally.
the players to completely overlook
sucking
your
blood,
I
biting
think-
everybody's necks.
I
But the
think-
blood is like, gold for,
He's always-
tax
he's always-
collecting, so he's also
You
vampire.
know, he goes off on
That's
his
what
own, deals
princes
with the
do.
situation, comes back, and he's tapping his face with like a handkerchief or whatever. Oh, I'm just a little
Mhm.
dirty. Don't worry.
He's
Just
not.
brushing my farming teeth.
He's not a vampire. He's a tax collector.
Yeah. Same thing. It is
Same
same
thing.
thing.
I think in my campaign recently, I know it's not like a super big plot twist or anything. It's just like, oh, okay. I have my main character Ixel that I play in Lime Warriors. She has a daughter named Chantrell, who's like a mushroom gnome thing. It's a homebrew race that we created, and she was in my campaign, but it's like Colin's world went to hell. It's like what would happen if everyone won and we didn't. She at the beginning of the campaign, they found all the Lime Warrior stuff, and then they met this NPC who started talking about like this tall person that she really knew, and how like, oh, there used to be like heroes back then and stuff, and they started like interrogating her because she was watching like the princess, and they ended up finding out that it was her. They're like, what? Colin caught on. He knew who it was. But
As soon as you said glowing eyes, I'm like,
yeah, she has
Wait
bright
a
blue
minute.
glowing eyes, especially in the dark.
Nice. We don't have any in chat, so I'll go back to Gauntlet. He asks, how long have you guys all been into RPGs? And I guess you can go with RPGs or TTRPGs, whatever.
What would you would you consider like actual like board game RPGs or like?
Whatever you consider RPG, really, I guess.
A long time, I would say.
Because like MMO RPGs I've been in for a long time, but RPG like D&D wise, like 3.5 years.
Work our way from the bottom to the top. What about you, Colin?
I have to say I've probably been into 5 to 6 years.
I was gonna be, my guess was 5.
Yeah.
Let's see. If we're talking RPGs as a general whole, I guess like video game RPGs. Ever since I was a wee little lad of
Wow, that's
9 or
ancient.
10. Yes, I am a tutor.
have controllers.
I didn't
7
really-
years ago.
I didn't really learn about like tabletop role-playing games until like I was like 20, maybe. But I didn't actually start playing until maybe about 5 years ago.
Betamax? You had Betamax? We had to go outside and play.
Never Said Dice asked, "What is your favorite D&D monster?" By the way, after you finished your question, Chris, I want to know how long.
Just TTRPGs. I'll stick with is 2016.
Not bad.
That's when I started.
Oh, damn.
So I'm the baby of the
Yeah.
group. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, but DMing maybe 6 months, a year, if you consider all the little
Well,
goofy little one
being a
shots I did.
DM and being a player, though they have different roles,
Mhm.
they are still technically considered players in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in general, you're still
Okay, so
another
yeah,
player.
In
Just have-
general.
You're ancient.
Yeah.
You're
that's true.
ancient.
81,
Hmm.
made in the 80s.
What is your favorite team monster? That is a good question.
So many.
There are a lot.
Ooh, Minotaurs.
Of course. Of course.
Don't you mean orcs?
Yeah, don't you mean
Minotaurs that think they are orcs.
Minotaurs that think they are.
And take short little peepees on their enemies. Man, okay. Matt, you and
I got-
Colin probably know this. It's this long. Okay, chat, chill out. It's this long, don't gif me, like ghost-like app thing with.
Kinky.
It's like it swims, but it can be on land, and it's. Oh my god.
You're not talking about.
It's got big, huge mouth, and it can like affect everybody. It can like.
Oh,
cripple-
Aboleth?
Aboleth, yes. Those are.
No, they can't. They can't be on land. They don't have a walking speed, as far as I recall.
No, but they,
Maybe it does.
They fly, don't they?
Yeah.
They they like hover.
Not that I recall.
Let
He's like,
me
To the manual.
Look it up.
To the monster manuals.
Yeah, let's.
See, I'm
Now-
I'm just gonna
I'm
draw
kind of
them.
torn.
When you say like monsters, does that mean like just any enemy? Like would you?
Anything
It is
that's
an aboleth.
pretty much anything that's kind of classified as a monster. Yeah. I mean, you can pick a different category.
This is gonna be just basic, but honestly, I really like mimics because they could be anything, and it's kind of cool to pull out a mimic. You're like, surprise! It wasn't a book.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So it's most likely in water, but it can breathe air.
Yeah.
It's with its stats, it does say speed 10 feet and then swim
Oh, okay.
40 feet. So
But
it does
those
have.
things.
It's just
It can-
slow.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it's basically like a fish out of water at one point where it's like, surprise, motherfucker, and then you're just like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, and then it's like, really
So it turns
slowly
into
going
Moon.
back to water. Yeah, the whale. Whale. Moon is the best. I love Moon. I'm so glad that that Roxanne joined us. She is a just one of those very unique players that thinks so far outside of the realm of D&D that when it's her turn, you're just like, you're what? I mean, yeah, you can do that. Sure. Let's see how it works, and it like just is always mind blowing.
I'm torn.
But
I've
yeah,
got too many.
Aboleth has got to be one of my faves. Because I've fought one twice in a game, and those things bring sheer terror to the playing field when they can. And I think it's the enslave thing.
Yeah, they do have like a mind enslavement.
That when you're under that, I had my bard under that, and it was like I was useless completely. Just the whole freaking like hour was just me sitting there going, "Oh, it's my turn. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay." Nothing.
Huh.
Sounds terrible.
What's the one creature that shows up and then can mess with your memories? It happened in our campaign recently, Colin.
Oh, you're talking about. It's not an official one, but you're talking about the false hydra.
Yes, I love
Oh
false
my
hydras.
god.
False hydras are so cool.
Really?
Oh wow.
I've never heard someone say, yeah, False Hydra's cool. It's like,
Well, okay, but it's like
oh.
it can fuck with people. Like, I want to play a false hydra one of these times where like I have a player or myself play as a character, and then eventually your character disappears and you play a new character, and they're like, what happened to this character? Like, what do you mean? And it's like that character like never existed like the whole time. Like, it'd be so mind fucking.
I mean, sure, if you want to bring that into a whole new level of, mess with the rest of the gaming group, but
I don't know. I like to.
They're
I like to fuck
nightmares.
with people, I guess.
Well, those are some of my favorite kind of monsters.
honestly, if I had to choose, I don't know. I always kind of gravitate to fiends. I don't have one in particular, but maybe a shadow demon or a cambion. I don't know. There's just something about fiends that I've always kind of liked the most in terms of the category. But I can't think of a specific monster that I really, really enjoy using. Now, granted, I haven't used a lot of fiends. I've used a good portion of the lower level ones, but still waiting to use some of the more higher CR ones.
What are the bull-like things we're fighting now? Are they called bullets? Or how do you pronounce that?
Bull-like things?
The metal
I don't.
giant.
Oh,
bullets?
that's called a gorgon.
Gorgon.
Yeah, I was about to.
That's a monstrosity.
Right. Okay.
Colin, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
And
what's
don't
your
say Mind
favorite?
Flayer because you use that all the
No.
time and I will kill you.
Vecna.
Honestly, I do use Mind Flayer a lot because of that one specific Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer's just some of my least favorite. I tend to more gravitate towards the weirder, like I guess like the weirder, more creepy ones in a way. You know, and the one that just kind of personifies this is not from 5th edition. There's none. It's not in 5th edition, but it's. I think it's like I can't remember how you pronounce it. I think it's like the Otopi or Otopi,
Mhm.
and it's like just. It's basically like a. Imagine a tumbleweed, right? Make it giant, and to make it made out of hands, like arms and hands, with eyeballs
Nice.
in the
That
center
sounds
of those
messed
hands.
That sounds messed up.
And then it can like, what's like the thing is like it can teleport like super far, so you'll see it off in a distance. It'll teleport to you and then run you down. Like its
Okay.
main form of attacking is just like trying to run you over.
Nice.
My second favorite is Arkellians. Just taking long
Bad.
pieces on everybody.
Bad.
Gauntlet hit me up again. He said, "What inspired you to go with a Russian Eastern European accent for Trivic? Just the hell of it? Or was there a specific reason?" I'll answer it real quick. It is just favorite accent to do because it's super fun. And you can speak in broken English and make it all up.
It's very easy to do. You can just.
Yes.
I
Be
have one
snooty.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it was like...
What?
Okay, Trovit, you can finish and then